Hello students, welcome to the Pole Science of class 9, and today we will discuss about the another feature related to democracy, that is free and fair electoral competition. Regarding this point, we have discussed about this point earlier also, but today we will try to understand about this feature, that is free and fair electoral competition, in a bit descriptive way. So number one point that comes under free and fair electoral competition is we should vote without any fear and threat. Clear? That means an individual who is getting the right to vote, he or she must give his vote, and according to his or her choice of candidate, he or she should vote for that particular candidate without having any fear also and threat also. Clear? After that, a free election is one in which those persons who are currently in power have a fair chance of losing. That means, how can we say that free and fair electoral competition is healthy in a way? That means, under the free electoral competition, it gives chances to the voters, that means to us, that we can give vote freely and without any fear. So the first point that comes under free electoral competition is that we as a voter get the chance to cast our vote without having any fear in our mind and threat also. And regarding the second point, in order to understand the second point, that is fair electoral competition, how can we say that the electoral competition or the election that is being carried out is fair? So how is it fair? In which manner? If we have to prove that, then we must say that a fair election is one in which those persons who are currently in power have a fair chance of losing. That means, if we suppose take the example of Assam. So in Assam, which party is heading the government? The BJP, of course, headed by our Honorable Chief Minister Sarbananda Sonowal. So suppose that in 2021 there is another election through which we again will cast our vote. And a fair election is one in which those persons can be related here to the BJP and the CM, that is Sarbananda Sonowal. So a fair election is that election in which those persons, that means those persons who are in power right now, can also lose elections also. Clear? So in that way we can say that a fair election or a fair electoral competition is that kind of competition or election in which the person who is already in power, who is forming the government, who is running the state according to the people's choice. So next time when we will vote, means the election when it is in Assam in the year 2021, they might not be elected also, or they might get elected also, or they might not get elected also. So there are fair chances that they might win also and they might lose also. So the second point that comes under fair electoral competition is related to that only. Clear? That means that persons which currently is in power have a fair chance of losing also. After that, regarding the example of China, in China elections are regularly held after every 5 years for electing the country's parliament, called National People's Congress. So the next point about free and fair electoral competition, we have learned that how it must be free, in which manner, and also it should be, a country should follow the fair electoral competition in which manner. We have learned both of the thing. Now taking the example of China, we will see now that whether China is following both free and fair electoral competition or not. So in China what happens? Elections are held regularly after 5 years for electing the country's parliament, called National People's Congress. Clear? Same as of India. As India is also holding the elections after every 5 years, in China also the case is same. But that is held for electing what? The country's parliament, that is National People's Congress. After that, the National People's Congress has the power to appoint the president of the country. So when the elections are held and when the National People's Congress is actually elected, after that this National People's Congress will do what? This National People's Congress will have the power in their hand within themselves, through which they can choose the president for their country. Clear? So this is the system which is prevalent in China. After that, some members are elected by the army. It has nearly 3,000 members from all over China. So whatever the members are there in the National People's Congress, these are approx assumed to be 3,000 in number, or nearly 3,000. You can say that from it may vary from 2,800, in between 2,800 and 3,000 members. So this much of members the National People's Congress have actually in number, and this National People's Congress is the same institution which actually elects the president of China. They have the power, and some members out of 3,000 are elected by the army also. Remember this. That means some of the members come from the army's background also, or through the army's quota also. Whatever the quota or seats are allotted through the army is there. So some of the members joined from the army side also. Clear? After that, before contesting elections, a candidate needs the approval of the Chinese Communist Party. So whatever the numbers are there, approx, we have knew that there are approx 3,000, nearly 3,000 members are there, and some comes from the army's preference also. But one more thing is there, that a candidate who wishes to contest elections, that particular candidate must need the approval of Chinese Communist Party. Only one party is there in China, that is the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and any individual in China who wants to contest or fight in an election, he or she must take the approval. That means the Chinese Communist Party will give approval, okay, you can contest in the election. After that approval only he or she can contest in the election. That is the system in China. After that, the government is always formed by the Communist Party of China. And what is the system over China? That, as I have told you earlier, that there is only one party in China, that is Chinese Communist Party. So the government, whatever it will be formed by one and only party, that is the Communist Party of China. Here you can see the symbol of Communist Party of China, and these are the, this picture is related to the Assembly of China, which is related to the Chinese Communist Party. Clear? So regarding China, as you have seen that whatever we have read here, that is, what points come under free electoral competition? Vote without any fear or threat. And what is the second thing that comes under fair electoral competition? That a fair election is one in which a ruler who is presently ruling that particular state or a country, he or she must have fear that the next time when the election is held, actually at that time what can happen to him or her? He or she might lose also. So that particular government which is in power right now should always work for the welfare and development of the people, so that in that way that government can actually win the trust. And after that, what can happen to them? After that, the conclusion might be like that, if they have worked truly for the development and welfare of the people, then in the next election also, that is for sure that the same people will choose them for the second time. If they are not doing their work properly, then what will happen? Chances is that under fair electoral competition that they might lose also. So these two things we have learned about free and fair electoral competition. Now related this free and fair electoral competition with that of China, do you think that this free and fair electoral competition is very much applicable in China? According to me, it's not, because free and fair electoral competition is one in which you are free to contest elections also, in which you are free to cast your vote also, and in which a particular power that is ruling the country for the time being has also the chances of losing in the next election also. But in China we have seen that no such thing is happening, right from holding elections to the losing or electing of the present government, because there is only one political party, that is the Chinese Communist Party, and whatever the government will come, that will be only from Chinese Communist Party year after year. That means you can count that 50 years or 100 years might pass, but the government will be that of the same political party, that is the Communist Party of China, where according to that we can say that under fair electoral competition, this Communist Party of China has no fear of losing any elections, because whatever the government is formed, that will be under the banner of Communist Party of China only. Clear? And regarding to the free electoral competition, as you can see that elections are held regularly, and after that nearly 3000 members are selected, but after selecting they choose the president of the country. And apart from that, if a candidate like you and me wants to contest elections in China, then you cannot do that. You have to take the prior approval of Chinese Communist Party. After that only you can fight in elections, so which is not followed in China under the free electoral competition. Clear? So with this I will wind up today's topic. I hope that whatever the feature related to free and fair electoral competition we have read, and we have also compared to that of China, where we have found that no such practice of free and fair electoral competition is followed in China. Clear? Question might also come that prove that free and fair electoral competition is applicable in China or not. So your answer will be of course no. And if you are writing no, you have to give certain reasons for that. You will write that the first point, you will write that a candidate wanting to contest elections has to take prior approval of Chinese Communist Party, which is totally injustice according to free electoral competition. And after that, whenever the government is chosen, that will be always from the Communist Party of China, which again is against fair electoral competition, because in a fair electoral competition the government should have fear that next time we might lose also. For that they have to work hard to get the another chance from the people's voting. Clear? So I hope that whatever the points we have read today, it is now clear to you. With that I will wind up today's topic. Thank you.